Welcome. Today we will discuss logical arguments. Our central question: why do we argue? Which functions of argument can we distinguish? Arguments can have several functions. They can be related to justification, of explanation, of persuasion. And we will discuss each of them a bit later. But we want to start with the definition of the argument. How can we define this concept? Arguments are explicit ways to formulate reasons, and arguments give different kinds of reasons. And in this context, we can say that an argument is a series of sentences, statements or propositions, where some are the premises and one is the conclusion, and where the premises are intended to give a reason for the conclusion. Let's explain this definition on the example. Our example is World War II occurred after World War I occurred, and this is not argument. This sentence is about historical or chronological order rather than a rational order. It does not explicitly claim that World War I gives a reason for World War II. Let's change our example. World War II occurred because World War I occurred. This is an argument. The word because makes this sentence claim that World War I gives a reason why World War II occurred. And the premise is World War I occurred, and the conclusion is World War II occurred. And by this way, we can distinguish premise and conclusion in this example. Our next question is about functions of argument. What are arguments used for? The first function can be related to the persuasion. Persuading is making people believe or do something that they would not otherwise believe or do. If the audience do not understand your argument, such as when it is given in a language that they do not understand, then your argument cannot cause them to change their beliefs, so it cannot persuade them. Justification, it can be named as the second function of an argument. Justifying is showing someone a reason to believe their conclusion, and justification tries to give good reasons. Persuasion tries to change your belief or actions, and bad reasons can do that. So, there is a big difference why you use arguments. Persuasion and justification are not the same. And how can we distinguish them? In order to distinguish them, you can ask the following questions. Firstly, is the arguer trying to change someone's mind? How can you answer to this question? If you answer to this question positively, then the purpose is persuasion. And our second question in this context: is the arguer trying to give some kind of reason to believe something? If so, the purpose is justification. Whether you succeed in persuading someone depends on what effect your argument has on that person. However, it is not case that whether you succeed in justifying a conclusion depends on what effect your argument has on the audience. To justify a conclusion is to give a reason for that conclusion, but the audience might not understand or accept that reason, even when it is a good reason. Then the argument might have no effect or an unintended effect on the audience. One can give a reason for a conclusion, and it will be a reason regardless of the effect on the audience. It is also not case that whenever you are trying to justify a conclusion, you are trying to persuade someone. You can try to give a reason for the conclusion even when you know that the audience will not understand or accept that reason. The point might be to show them that you have a reason, even if they don't accept your reason. And let's talk about the strong arguments. One essential moment in this context, which I would like to emphasize. Strong arguments don't always persuade everyone. We should remember this detail. It is not enough for an argument to be strong, valid and sound to be persuasive. You can have an argument for which every premise is genuinely true, and where every conceivable flaw in the arguments is negated, and still not have it be persuasive. There will almost always be someone who either misunderstands the argument or who blindly believes the opposite of a premise in the face of facts, of course. Human beings aren't always logical and don't always believe scientifically proven cause and effect. Religious and cultural beliefs can be too hard to overcome. Even the best arguments can have disbelievers. We should remember this aspect of the argumentation. Okay, let's move to the explanation. Arguments can also be used for explanation. Explaining is giving a reason why something happened or why it is true. When you justify something, your audience might not believe what you are justifying. When you explain something, you and your audience both believe what you are explaining. The goal of explanation is to help people understand why something is true. You can justify belief in a conclusion without explaining what that conclusion is true. Suppose I argue Wikipedia says that the echidnas are mammals that lay eggs, so echidnas lay eggs. This argument gives some reason to believe that the conclusion is true, but it does not explain why the conclusion is true or why echidnas lay eggs. Thus, appeal to authority of testimony can justify belief in a conclusion without explaining why it is true. Explanation is an attempt to fit a particular phenomenon into a general pattern in order to increase understanding and remove bewilderment or surprise. Explanation is not justification. It is not persuasion. It is not generalization or prediction. And explanation is a big topic. especially in philosophy. For example, in Aristotelian philosophy, we can distinguish four kinds of explanation. They have theological, material, formal, and causal. And let's analyze each of them briefly. Theological explanation gives the purpose or function of the phenomenon. Material explanation cites the material that makes up the thing to be explained. Formal explanation, it cites the shape or form of the thing to be explained. And the causal explanation is related to the event that brought about or sustains the thing to be explained. Thus, arguments can be used for persuasion, justification, and explanation. And an explanation in the form of an argument can be stated in the following way. P1, premise 1, it can be related to the general principles of laws. Premise 2, it can be related to the initial conditions. And our conclusion can be related to the phenomenon to be explained. Let's take one example. P1, premise 1. When an object is fairly suspended in a medium, and when the medium is more dense than the object rises. It's our premise 1, P1. Premise 2. The helium balloon is less dense than the surrounding area. And what can our conclusion be? Our conclusion, the helium balloon rises. Okay, that's all for today's discussion. Thank you for watching. If you have got any questions, you can address them. I'll be very happy to answer them. Thank you for watching.